The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Coming up on the news at noon, 3 people dead after a car goes into the Anacostia River. What we know so far.
If they're going to meddle, they should meddle everywhere, not just D.C.
They're bullies.
And later, D.C. residents are voicing their concerns after Congress turned down another D.C. law. More reaction coming up. And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Let's take a look outside. The sun is out on this beautiful Friday, but could we see record-breaking heat? Let's find out with weathercaster Brittany Ward. Brittany, what's the latest on the forecast? I remember you telling us yesterday that we could hit 90.
Yeah, Mark, it's going to be yet another beautiful day out there, filled with sunshine, those warmer temperatures, and yes, there are a few locations who could hit the 90-degree mark today, which will be breaking some very old records that were set across the area. Now, overall, as we head through the day, we're mostly going to be quiet, but we are awaiting this storm system that is off to our west. That's going to work its way into our area as we head into your Saturday. Going to be bringing us some showers and perhaps some thunderstorms. So just be mindful of that when you are making any plans as we kickstart your weekend. Right now, the sun is shining across the DMV. We are quiet and we are already warm. So definitely get outside and enjoy it. We're taking a look at your drought monitor. You can see along that I-95 corridor and portions of the northern counties, we are at a moderate risk for a drought. And then as you head further off to the eastern panhandle, we're just mainly dry, and that's because we haven't seen beneficial rain in a very long time. So these showers and storms that are going to work their way through as we head into your Saturday will really help when it comes down to that drought. Temperature-wise, we are fairly warm out there. We're talking about 76 currently in the nation's capital, 79 as you head over there to Frederick, already hitting the 80s as you head further down to the south. Again, those highs today on the warmer side, we're talking about summer-like temperatures out there. 90 is expected to be the high here in D.C., which could break some records. 91 there in Manassas, 85 as you head over there to Hagerstown. So definitely keep it here, Mark. We'll time out those storms and what to expect for the rest of your weekend coming up.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Dive crews found 3 people dead in the Anacostia River overnight. DC Fire and EMS believe a car drove into the river sometime before midnight. DC News Now's Ben Dennis has more details.
Well, Metro Police have worked to move this Dodge Charger out of the Anacostia River nearly 8 hours after witnesses apparently saw it plunge into the water below the Frederick Douglass Bridge. That car with slight damage to the front and here on the embankment going to be carried away on a flatbed. And fast forward 2 hours after those initial calls for service came in, authorities said they found 3 bodies in and near the vehicle in the water. And video shared by authorities shows the search turned into a recovery mission. Authorities said track marks could be seen on the ground leading into the water. DC Fire and EMS had tweeted just before 11:50 they found a car underwater, and that search began at 12:44. One person inside the vehicle was found dead, but they could not take them out at that time. 1:13, Fire and EMS said they found a second victim lifeless in the water, but not inside the vehicle. They were, however, near it. At 1:20 this morning, the 3rd body found around the vehicle as well.
So it must come down that road there. Someone that must came in and did something could have happened to the driver, you know what I'm saying? And then it just, you know, passed out or something. I don't know. It's sad, but things happen, man, that, you know, you never expect that.
Still working to confirm details. However, the car did not appear to drive off of the bridge. That's because there's no damage near where the travel lanes are. Authorities, of course, they will be putting together all of the evidence that they can here on the embankment before clearing up the scene, and this investigation continues to unfold. In Southeast, Ben Dennis, DC News Now.
The D.C. Police Department is mourning one of their own today. Sergeant Jen Park, an 11-year veteran of the department, died in a motorcycle accident on his way home from work. He worked in the 4th District. Chief of Police Robert Conte released a statement saying that let us honor his memory and find strength in the knowledge that his actions with our department had a positive impact on all of those around him. Sergeant Park is survived by his mother and brother. Well, new at noon, we now know the name of the driver who died in the I-495 crash in Clinton, Maryland. 30-year-old Bridget Harris died at the scene after her car hit the back of a tow truck. That tow truck then hit the back of a Maryland State Police car. This video from our contributor, Moco PG News, shows that several emergency crews who responded to the crash. No one was in the tow truck or the patrol car at the time. Well, a missing child from Western Maryland was found dead a few hours after he was reported missing. Maryland State Police say divers found 4-year-old Fox Piper in a pond around 10 o'clock. The child was first reported missing around 6:30. Troopers say the pond is close to his home. Right now, the case is still under investigation. And a middle school security guard in Montgomery County has been arrested. He's accused of showing a 13-year-old pornography in school. Today, we've learned that that guard has a criminal past. This latest incident happened at Earl B. Wood Middle School in Aspen Hill. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has more.
36-year-old Varvey Daughtry is being charged with 1 count of sexual abuse of a minor and 1 count of displaying obscene items to a minor. According to an affidavit, detectives received a report that a 13-year-old boy was in a classroom at Earl B. Wood Middle School under the temporary care and custody of Daughtry on November 30th of last year. Police say the boy was in school intervention, or ISI, after getting in a fight with another student the day before. The boy told detectives Daughtry was assigned as his supervisor and was the only person in the room at the time. According to the affidavit, the boy asked Daughtry about his job and asked him if he had any other jobs. And Daughtry told him that he worked as a security guard at a nightclub in D.C. That's when police say Daughtry showed the boy pictures on his phone of naked women. The boy said Daughtry showed him several videos, too, recalling one particular video of what he believed was 2 people having sex. Investigators say Daughtry showed the boy more images of women that he dated and said to the boy that, quote, he hit that. After Daughtry left the classroom, the boy stated that he felt uncomfortable with the images that he had seen and knew that the images were inappropriate.
I'm not sure how things like this keep flying under the radar with MCPS. You know, it's scary as a parent, you know, because I do have, you know, a freshman in high school, but at this point, nothing surprises me.
Last month, detectives reviewed images from Daughtry's cell phone and found images matching what the 13-year-old described.
I hope parents step up and try to maybe push something with, you know, the Department of Education to try to make sure our kids are safe, you know, because, I mean, it is scary.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.
The Democratic-controlled Senate narrowly blocked an effort to stop the VA from offering abortion services. The agency implemented the policy last year after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Republicans argued that any rule changes should go through Congress. Well, the VA started offering abortion services for the first time last year for military veterans and their families in certain cases. But the rule change came 1 month too late for Lindsay Church and their wife, forcing them to seek care outside the VA. The Church joined fellow veterans and senators who support reproductive rights in the U.S. Capitol Wednesday, pushing back against Alabama Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville's efforts to undo the policy.
We wanted our baby more than anything, but couldn't imagine a life where all they knew was suffering.
I'm pro-life, okay, but this is not really about abortion as much as about the law.
Well, the measure narrowly failed, and President Biden threatened a veto if it passed. Senator Tuberville says that he'll keep fighting by blocking Pentagon confirmations. Well, tonight is the deadline for the Supreme Court to decide on abortion medication access for Americans. Right now, justices are weighing arguments that would allow restrictions to take effect and that would make it much harder to get the drug mifepristone, which is used in the most common abortion method in the U.S. The drug has been FDA approved for more than 20 years. Well, President Biden's campaign announcement for the 2024 election could come as soon as next week. Now, that's according to sources with the Associated Press. An exact time is still unknown, but the president is expected to make that announcement next Tuesday. President Biden is planning to deliver his message in a video to his supporters. And this comes as a poll from the Associated Press finds that less than half of Democrats believe President Biden should run for a second term. It found that 47% of Democrats, 26% of all voters support Biden running for office. Both of those numbers are up since the last poll in January. The Despite the hesitation to support the president, over 80% of Democrats say they would likely support Biden if he's the nominee. Well, developing now, Republicans in Congress say that they are trying to help make D.C. safer by wiping away laws enacted by the district's elected officials. Well, last night, the House struck down a council police reform bill in the name of public safety. Our political and government reporter Leonard N. Fleming has more.
They're trying to get headlines. They're trying to feed their base. They're trying to make an issue about D.C. when it's really not an issue with us in D.C.
This is Pastor Anthony Motley as we walked in Southeast D.C. He's troubled by the Republican-led House striking down D.C. laws in the name of public safety.
Yeah, we have some problems, but we got problems all over the country. Some rural areas that have some problems too.
All across the district, people who live here say they think Republicans in Congress, with the help of some Democrats, are trampling on D.C. rights.
We have no representation.
So says Dolores Walker as she listened to a video of Republican Kentucky Representative James Comer speak about why he supported rejecting the police reform bill.
The council has continued to overlook its law enforcement officers in favor of progressive, soft-on-crime policies.
When has Congress had our best interests at heart, period? Let me say that. We have no representation on the Hill. We have Eleanor Holmes Norton that's there. Why is she there? We have no say now.
Mike Caprio has lived in D.C. his whole life. He's seen crime rise and fall and rise again. Congress is grandstanding, he says.
If they're going to meddle, they should meddle everywhere, not just D.C.
These are just a few of the many impractical and outrageous proposals of the legislation.
It makes me feel like I'm a citizen without all the rights of a citizen.
Lewis was getting his haircut in a barber shop on a block in the northwest part of the city where crime has been a problem.
If the crime is as high as it is, and if the council is trying to do their job to reform the laws to kind of tackle some of that, then why would you repeal it?
That's a simple answer for Motley.
They're bullies.